It could be construed as man flu, which, as we know, is the worst affliction that anyone can possibly suffer from at any time.
To hold you to account. We don't do it like, oh, you should have done that. Oh, Lee, you shouldn't be ill, like, or anything like that.
Rushing ahead on your journey here, Joe. I'm going to make you relive the pain. Sorry, leftover of my sickness there, just so you know it was real. It's coming back now. Right. So
you totally messed up my schedule, and you changed everything. My procrastination was I didn't really want to do it. But the thing that made me do it was that I know I have to do it. The reason I have to do it is because I'm mission to wake people up.
Right, we're now recording.
I'm going full screen as well. Okay, I'm going to go live as well. So Ryan, big shout out to you, mate. Thanks for looking at this. Just want to say hi. Not seen you for a while, but we will hook up very soon on the Saturday.
And just to be clear, because if this works, my handsome face will now be on the screen, Ryan. I don't like you at all, but I have to part with you because you're quite good at this video editing stuff.
Has he got his computer back?
It's being fixed at the moment.
Still being fixed, all right.
Yeah.
Let me just, okay, so I'm going to go live on Instagram. I'm just going to do that now, just so we see. They won't be able to hear you, but I'll have to just give them a little praises sometimes. I'll just say to them,
okay.
That's what Lee said. Good evening, Inspiration Nation. Hello, Inspiration Nation. We're doing a podcast live. Just here with Lee. Bit of a midweek thing because we've not been able to get together because Lee wasn't very well. He had some lame excuse, said he couldn't speak, and so we're on. So we're doing it now. All right. So Lee, I'll let you do your bit now. Lee can do his bit. So
give it a minute. Hopefully, he'll cut over to me for the video, and then I'll go in with a run. And this is just in a second is where we will officially start the video. Check on the
we're gonna. Okay.
No, I'm recording, but so that Mr. Boniface knows where to start the video from.
Oh, okay.
Not that he doesn't know that stuff because he's a logical genius.
Logical genius.
Yes. Right. Inspiration Nation. Hello, Lee Kemp here once again for another week on the podcast. Here just with Joe this week. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Lee. How's it going? You
not too bad.
Boy?
It's completely my fault that it is just me and Joe because we were supposed to do some recordings this Sunday. I was not feeling very well, so we had to cancel. So we're doing something impromptu midweek, but what we are trying is something different. So we are doing this over Zoom, which is the first time we've used it. I'm sure other conference facilities are available. But if this works properly, it means we will be in audio version and we'll be back on YouTube with this video as well if it all works quite well.
That's
amazing. So a happy accident, isn't it, Joe? A happy accident.
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy, hasn't it? Because we tried to use Audacity, didn't we? But Audacity now I've updated my computer. It doesn't work on my computer, so I've had to find another way of recording it. So just for you amazing podcasters out there, I'm using GarageBand to record this audio. So hopefully we're all good. And you know what? I just want to check something. I'm sure it's working perfectly well. Things to be recording. Oh, hang on. Things to be recording well. It's still recording. So that's good. I don't know what happened there.
I hope everyone is enjoying this week's podcast of Listen to Joe checking his recording.
I just wanted to make sure it's going back. So I'm going to get a full screen again. Anyway, right, carry on. Sorry, Lee, I've interrupted.
So thank you everyone for listening again on the podcast here for week 34. As always, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Listen TOIN. Leave some comments, leave some feedback, whatever platform you're listening in, we would really appreciate it if you go on to our page there, leave us a review, leave us 5 stars. Appreciate all the support we get from everyone. It helps get the message out there. So
fantastic.
Been good in this extended week, Joe, since we've last seen each other?
Yeah, it's been good. You've made me change my schedule though, which is
thrown me out of routine, have I?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you a bit about that as well as we go through this podcast. But also we are live on Instagram. So I'm saying hi to Instagram. I don't know if I've said that already, but I probably have. But yeah, so we're doing that as well. Do you know, I just thought you could have put your phone up for Instagram as well. You could have been on the Instagram. We could have done Instagram conversation.
Shall we do an impromptu start?
Yeah, why don't you join me on Instagram? And then when people are doing that, they can, it might come out echoey though, mightn't it, on the recording? Right?
Nah, it'll be fine.
I think it will. I don't know if we can do this.
Let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. Oh, no, I'll do my own Instagram. We can do separate ones. Or I can turn the volume down. I'm going to turn the volume down. I'm going to join you.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Oh, I've got someone joining. I've got someone, Nash. Welcome. I will listen to IN. Go and join me then. And I'll put the sound right down. Join then. Hi, Nash. Right, let me request to view. Go live. Okay, here we go.
Obviously, referencing back to our winging it video, people, this is literally
Go.
winging it because we're making this stuff up and making you listen to it as a part of the podcast. So thank you for sticking with us.
Hang on, you turn that. There you go. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Is that better?
There we go. We are on Instagram. We are on Zoom. We are on audio. Right.
Hang on, I've got to do something.
Please bear with us, folks.
How do I turn the sound off?
With technology. There's a volume button you'll find on your phone, Joe.
I have. I've turned it right down.
Okay.
Oh, anyway, it won't. It won't turn right down. So I hope it doesn't get any echo. It shouldn't do anyway.
Yeah, it does. You need to turn it down.
You hear me?
You're all good. You're all good. Okay. Let's go. Right. So after that brief interlude, what are we talking about this week, Mr. Noya?
Right. We are talking about dealing with procrastination, which was quite an anticipated thing as we were procrastinating at the beginning of this podcast, trying to get all that.
Indeed, we're making everyone listen to our procrastination.
Technical things sort of happening. So, yes, it's dealing with procrastination. That's what I've got this week. So I just thought I would talk about that this week. So about not wanting to do things really.
Okay.
And so this is what this week's about. So just to tell you a little bit of story around this is Lee caused me to be a bit Lee didn't cause me, but Lee caused me to suffer.
I feel some blame coming my way here.
Yeah, well, it's not really because it's down to me, isn't it? Because I'm the one that's trying to do it. So procrastination when you don't want to do stuff and you know you should do it. And so when Lee couldn't do it, I had a few days off work. So I was doing family stuff, I was doing the daily videos and stuff like that. But what I found was even today, I thought, that means I've got to do the blog because the blog always supports sort of the podcast or in the way that I don't really sort of reference the podcast anymore, but it's an additional content to the podcast. And I knew I had to write it. Now, usually I write it after we do this podcast because when we do the podcast, things come out of the podcast that I can reflect on and write new topics. So I had to do it before. I've had to prepare it, though it's going to be released the same. It's going to be released after. It's going to be released after this. It was released after this, but I would normally have prepared it after this, but I've had to prepare it before, which is what I was struggling with. Is like I've got to sit down now and I've got to do it. And also because we've rejigged the weekend to so we're going to be on a Saturday. On the Sunday morning, I would usually do all my bits before I come to you. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so I can't do any of that. So you totally messed up my schedule and you changed everything. And I don't like that. And as you say, I struggle with that. So this is my procrastination, actually having to write when I really didn't feel like writing.
And is that because it's at a different time or because
it's just different?
The routine out?
Yeah, throwing the routine out. And I said before that that's one of my things is that, I want to fly by wire. And sometimes there's things that you recognize that actually I do like my scripted time. But there's things like when we do this podcast that I've got a few notes, but it's more like mind mapped. It's mind mapped rather than a list of information. So my procrastination was I didn't really want to do it, but the thing that made me do it was that I know I have to do it. The reason I have to do it is because I'm mission to wake people up to make sure they do push through procrastination. So I've got to do these things to show you how you push through it, because if I don't do it, you're not going to do it. And so that's what it is about the mindset here, about how in those times that we don't want to do it, how do we push through? And so for me was having the mission that my job is to coach and to change mindset. So it's easy to do it when you feel great, like when you feel in the mood, right? When you feel pumped, you feel great, and you're out in the mornings, probably good for me, drinking my InspirationNation coffee in my Inspiration mug. There you go.
Hold on, should we do a clink through the screens, Joe?
How'd you do that, though?
Just lift your mug up to the camera. Clink. Done.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There you go. I love that. So you may see that on the YouTube. And so for me, it is about doing it in the difficult times. That's when it counts. It's not when it's easy. When it's not really easy. Right? When you've got to write a blog about something, it's not easy. You've got to just get in there. You've got to get in the zone. You've got to just distractions and write. And so I started writing, but once I started the first line, it just came out, all of it. So I'm not posting it to, as I say, the usual time, but I've actually done it.
So rushing ahead on your journey here, Joe, I'm going to make you relive the pain.
Oh, go on then.
Sorry, leftover of my sickness there, just so you know it was real.
I just
It's coming back now. Right.
Big-
So Sunday morning, what would a normal Sunday morning be like if you were coming to me?
So
afterwards to do some recording?
Sunday morning would be, I'll get up, do the meditation, do my press ups, write my journal, which I've got over there. I've got it over there. With gratitude and all that. But then I'd write the blog, and I'd write my newsletter to my email provider. Now that takes a long time, and then I'd do the video to promote the blog, and then do the tweets to promote the blog, including the retweet, the Marshall Wright one we do, to sort of like think big with Martha on Sunday, and all that takes a whole morning to write that, because by the time because it's not easy doing a blog. I don't know if anyone's done one. You have to write it, then you have to recheck it, you have to check it again and keep rereading it. And it's quite a mission, especially you've got like about 1,000, maybe 1,000 words, probably around 800 to 1,000 words, sometimes over 1,500. So it's quite a mission to write and to make it and put the headlines in. Now, as you know, I've been putting headlines and stuff in it. I've never been putting videos into it, getting
So
video
not just the
content in
words,
there.
but the format and everything as well.
Yeah, so it takes a long time. So it takes you a lot all morning. So by the time I finish that, get a lunch or get something to eat, and then straight to you, and then we do the podcast. So I know it's a big thing. I'll get up probably on a weekend, maybe 6:30, maybe 7, and it will start at 7 to about 12. So we've got 5 hours there, maybe. We're writing, videoing, doing those sorts of things.
But living your dream, putting in your time and putting in the work to do it.
Because if people say, well, I want to become fit, or I want to be a singer or actor, or whatever it is, whatever the art is or whatever the work is, it's got to be in the schedule. It's got to be in your day. But so if you're not achieving it, it's because it's not in your day. You haven't got any plans for it, like for you doing the Twitter and stuff. We just had a little chat before we came on the podcast. So we found out our listeners to our podcast had gone down, and Lee had been ill, right? So he couldn't do. Oh, you tell the story, because I'm telling your story now.
Okay. But this is my story of failure, Joe. So
this is the point, right? This is the point, because this always affects, doesn't it? And my procrastination could affect you in terms of that. You were ill, you couldn't do anything, but it just.
And I tried to get ahead of myself here as well. So last weekend, or the weekend before, I was away for the weekend, and I took my trusty rickety old laptop with me. And I thought, over the weekend while I'm away, I'll do what I normally do, because for promoting the podcast, I make a lot of like quotes and audiograms and that sort of stuff. And I normally do them on a Saturday morning. So I took my laptop away with me, and I was going to get myself ahead, and I got all of them done, and I was all ready to go.
Yeah.
Sorry. And as you can hear, I then got quite ill. So just not horrendous. I mean, it could be construed as man flu, which, as we know, is the worst affliction that anyone can possibly suffer from at any time. But it just completely knocked me for 6. So whereas I'd get home and I'd do a little bit of editing and I'd do a bit of posting and stuff, I just didn't have the energy to do it. So for about 4 or 5 days, it was radio silence on Twitter, which since we started this in about April has been the first time I've been slowly increasing the numbers done. And I've started to get back on it now, but we've noticed quite a drop over that week in the number of listeners, I think, related to the activity on Twitter. Sorry. And on your procrastination thing, I think I was feeling that, like, the last couple of days I've been feeling it, just a residual of this thing I've been feeling. And I knew we were going to do this today. I then knew I needed to log into some new technology for us to do this video thing that hopefully works. I knew I needed to post 4 or 5 things on Twitter. And about an hour ago, I was thinking, oh my God, can I be bothered with all of this?
Oh, okay, so you had it as well.
Yeah. Which when you said that earlier, that resonated with me, because I thought I was feeling it, because it's just sapped me of energy at the moment. But I love doing this. I absolutely don't want this to be the first week in 30 odd weeks that we don't put out a podcast. So I thought I've got to do it. So I got my laptop. And as soon as I started, I was fine. So I logged into what I needed to log into. I got it all set up. I tested it worked. I've got a routine down for how I do the Twitter as well. And actually, before I'd even thought about it, I'd done it. There's a ghost behind you, Joe. Your door's opening for people watching on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. It's a friendly ghost. We do have one. Just
nice.
To let you know.
And I did push through, and I've done it. And as is the lesson for people, I feel better that I did that. And although you can't hear it between my coughs, I feel better that we're doing this and we're doing the podcast and I made it happen. Because I know if right now, if I messaged you and said, oh, I'm feeling rotten, I can't do this, I'll be lying on the sofa right now and I'll be feeling like poop because I've just given in when, and it's an important lesson. Sometimes you do need to give in when your body's telling you.
Which you did, like you did rest, didn't you?
Yeah, and absolutely. And I had that time. But then there's sometimes when just that nagging bit of your brain kicks in that doesn't need to kick in. If you like Professor Stephen Peters, it's what he refers to as your chimp in your brain. And you don't always have to listen to your chimp. And I pushed through the chimp feelings and I'm here and I feel a lot better for it.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing because that's when I started writing was fine. As soon as I started the writing, that's when it counts. And that's what you did. And that's essentially how you beat procrastination. You have to challenge this because your brain's trying to keep it's trying to keep you safe by not you wasting energy because you're probably feeling ill. For me, it was just trying to say, you don't need to waste energy on that because you don't need to do it. It's all right. It's okay. But it's not okay.
He's got his feet up. You put your feet up as well, Joe.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you do that as well, when you know you're not doing the thing that you love, afterwards, you feel all right when you're not doing it. But after you think, oh, I should have really did that. And that's when the whole thing starts to unravel. And so you lose momentum. And I think one of the big things about this, and this is what we've done, is built momentum about what we do. And even if we are struggling with the thing, we still push through. And I think it's a decent example of how we have to push through. You know, not to the extent that you become ill, because we wouldn't want that to anybody, but to the extent that when you feel okay, here we go. Look.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a perfectly timed cough there,
wasn't it? But that's it. But actually, you're being real as to you're not feeling the greatest, but it's hard. And you're doing
this is something, you know, again, inspiring people to wake up and live their dreams. This is something we both believe in, and it would be easy to, and I just think if we missed it for a week and then we missed it for another week, chances are we'd never pick it up again and do it again. And it's keeping that momentum and keeping that consistency. And we've seen, and we were talking before we started recording, that it's given, whilst, you know, it's a bit disappointing that I feel like in one way I've lost a bit of momentum with the whole social media push, which in previous episodes, if you want to go back and listen to our journey reviews in the archive, you'll know that that's our kind of preferred method for getting our message out there and promoting what we do. So there's one bit where I'm feeling a bit like, we've taken a lot of steps forward in the last 6 months, and I feel like that's almost like a couple of steps back. But actually, it gives me a bit of reassurance that the stuff we do does make a difference. Because when I stopped doing it, and I literally stopped for 3 or 4 days, you could notice the change from stopping doing it. Which I say in a always glass half full kind of view of the world is quite a reassuring thing that stuff we are doing, and, you know, stuff we follow from other people who talk about posting every day and being consistent and getting your message out there and making the noise. It really does make a difference.
Oh yeah, because it does, and you just shown that it does. But also, I think for people, or like for us, and hopefully people take lessons from it, that by also doing it, it makes you feel proud of yourself for doing it. And also, the less you start to do, I think you start to lose the skills and start to lose what you've built. And you don't go backwards, you just change. But what we do is we're trying to change ourselves. We're trying to become different versions of ourselves, the versions that we want to intentionally create. Rather than just leave it to our chance. I think an intention behind it. And this all stems from procrastination. So yeah, I've just written a few things here actually. So the things we talked about, one of them was just start. Just if you don't feel like it, just do one small thing that you can do and just start. And for me, it's writing a line, and for you, it's just to start doing it, and then you found you're doing it. I mean, even when I started writing this afternoon, I started writing, and that was an hour in, and I'd started, and boom, and almost like an hour in, writing away, then just to correct it and everything like that. And I didn't notice the time. You take a photo for the blog bit, and I was away. I was doing it, and I didn't even notice it because you love it. You love doing it. You love the thing that you're doing. And if you love the thing you're doing, you're not, once you push through that barrier, you're not going to notice that time. You're going to notice
it once you get into that rhythm. And it is, you know, rather than, like you said, writing the blog, it's just, well, I'll write one line, and then I'll write the next line, and then I'll write the next line, and then you're on it.
even I've just written that first line, and suddenly I stopped, the idea started to flow, and then it just built on that.
Yeah.
And so it just created from that. What I was going to say. So another thing I was going to talk about was accountability. We talked about it before, like there's accountability partners, like what we talked about before in previous episodes. I think this deals with procrastination as well. So if you've got someone you've got to hold you to account, we don't do it like, oh, you should have done that. Oh, Lee, you shouldn't be ill, like, or anything like that.
Just for people listening, and I can't show you on my phone right now because I'm on Instagram with Joe, but the torrent of abuse in messages that I got for Joe for saying I couldn't do the podcast was unreal.
He could show the podcast.
He was going to sack me from the podcast. I'd let him down. Everything was ruined. The past 6 months have been a waste of time. You were just horrid.
Why'd I waste my time?
I was ill. As you can hear my voice now.
Got no time to be on the podcast, Lee. No time.
Obviously, that's not what Joe did, and he was very supportive. But you're right, because there is, doing this. I felt really bad that was the case for both you and with Ryan, and you were both really good with me, which is, we're a good supportive team with each other. But I wanted to make sure we got on this as quickly as possible. And I said to you, that although we can't do this, let's make sure we get one done in a week and we don't lose our space. And we're picking up again next weekend straight away to do it. And I think the fact that we're doing it as a team, and I want to make sure I'm putting my weight in the team, is a big part of pushing me through and getting me where I am. I can already feel my energy level coming up just doing this now as well.
It makes a difference. I think we always say that. And I think with pushing through procrastination, when we do the podcast, even sometimes we might be on Sunday think, oh, I've got to travel to Leeds, or even Lee might think sometimes, oh, I've got to do this podcast now. But actually, when we're there doing it, it's just the energy. After we've done it, we just still feel so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had a real in-depth discussion around self-development, and we all just got this natural affinity with it. And I think that's where it comes from. And you feel energized. And so the whole week after the podcast, we just feel energized, and it adds so much. And so as accountability partners, I think really works really well. And I think, as I said before, I think if we weren't in this sort of group, or there were us in here, how long would this go? If we're doing it individual on our own, it would be a lot harder, I think. And you can do it because people do it, but it'd be definitely a lot more difficult. And would I have kept going? I don't know. Would I have kept going doing my bits? I just don't know. It'd be a lot harder, would be more difficult. But I know this podcast would definitely not would happen without you coming on board. So it's just, but it all happens for a reason. Yes. Yeah, through procrastination, and persistence and all those things.
I think you're right. I think that's a key message for anyone looking to start anything, whether it's a project, trying to start a business, trying to start a club for a hobby or something like that. Anything you're doing, bring other people in with you. And I think it's two. One is that accountability partner reason, which I think is vital. And the other thing is no one's a master of everything. So bring in people who complement your skills and fill those gaps, and, build that team to make it happen.
I totally agree.
I don't think we'd be doing this like we're doing it now without the three of us that are doing it.
And it just builds that thing. And I think also a thing for me was, what was I going to say? It's gone. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. It'll come back to me. The thing with this is that it's like something we love, something that we want to do, and it's just gone. It was something that I'd thought about. It's gone, and it'll come back to me. Anyway, so I mean, again, procrastination again is like when I have to come up with the subject matter for the podcast. Well, sometimes up in Leicester as well, I'm thinking, what am I going to write about this week? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And the thing is, it's just to start. I start writing, and then I'll start taking something like this, like why do people don't do the things that they do, like procrastination? I mean, procrastination is a massive thing. I mean, and so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So it's just start writing. I start writing, but it's like my head title is dealing with procrastination, and it's just like bubbles of writing, and just put ideas in little bubbles. And I think it's about, it's how you are in real life. This is real life. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're in your career or anything like that. Oh, that was what I was going to say. It doesn't matter if the person isn't involved in your business. If you can have someone hold you accountable anyway, to say, have you done that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah.
So just say to someone, I want to do this every week. I'm promising you I'm going to do it every week, and you can check in. Can
you support me? Can you follow up? Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So they don't have to be in the business, but they can be, when you say to people, well, by next year, I have done 30 episodes of podcast. So have you done that? Someone could say, have you done that? No. Okay. So that reminds you to do it. That was what I was going to say.
That's a really good tip.
So that was just that. That's what I wanted to say. I just came
right.
do that one. Cool.
I want to take a quick plug time here, Joe. So
Okay.
those watching can see both me and Joe have our
Yes.
Inspiration Nation mugs with us. Those listening will now know that we're talking about our Inspiration Nation mugs. I have here as well with me, you see this, Joe? So for my very, very lucky children, they're going to be adorned in these Inspiration Nation hoodies, which I'm showing to the camera now. Obviously, for those listening, you can see these all at the Inspiration Nation store, inspirationnation.org.uk. There's a link to the store there. There are full-size hoodies, kids' hoodies, mugs, stickers, leggings, phone cases, whatever you want to show your support for Inspiration Nation. You can get it all now at inspirationnation.org.uk.
Excellent. Just in time for Christmas as well.
A very good point, Joe. In fact, should we put a bit of a Christmas sale on there?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's say from now, if you go onto the website, again, inspirationnation.org.uk, click on the banner at the top, you will get 10% off between now and the new year.
Wonderful. Look at that. Well, you're so generous this year.
That is
so
me.
good.
That is me. Super generous.
Super generous. I love it. Come on. It's great. Support the podcast, and that's what it's about. I love it. Thanks, Lee. Yes. So again, it's about doing musts on these procrastination. Is like, you know, you say, "Oh, I should do that." Oh,
yes.
I should do it. It's got to turn into a must because of your mission, right? So it's all about mission, purpose, whatever it is you're looking at. Why are you doing the thing you're doing? If you don't love it, don't do it. As simple as that. That was my one. Or what's the other one I was going to say? Oh, your brain says it's too late. Like that was another one of mine. I was writing it. Brain saying it's too late to write. It's just too late to start writing.
That's your chimp giving you your excuses. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's too late. Don't worry about it. It's too late. So I did it. So I try and keep things that are inspirational around me. Like, so at the moment, I haven't read it this week, but I read it when I was away in Leicester. If you've been watching the videos, you'd see, but I've been doing recordings in Leicester and stuff like that, but I'm back now. I'm back. And I'm reading a book called Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. Don't know if you saw that, Lee, but you might have done. And there's a guy on there called James Altucher. He's an American hedge fund manager of tens of millions of pounds, like super brilliant. And he had a great tip around just getting yourself started, really, about making sure, you know, you can get ideas, how you get ideas, because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm out of ideas. So he said, all you got to do is write down 20 ideas. That can be any ideas, right? So I experimented with this, just a bit like you, that you experimented with your, you know, meditation.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, that's quite a good idea. What I'll do is I'll do an experiment now and I'll report it on the podcast. So I went. So I just wrote down 20 ideas that came straight out of my head, straight onto paper. I'm going to tell you what they are now. So I'm going to run through them, and you're going to tell me whether they're any good for procrastination or not. And be honest. Number one, just start writing was my first one.
That's good.
So as you get any ideas about these, just say, all right. Number two, no idea what to write, but I'm writing. I don't know what I'm writing, but I'm writing. That was idea two. That was just like start writing. Number three, plan to procrastinate. Allow a time frame to procrastinate.
I do that. I do that very thing.
Do you?
And I will do it, and I front load. So if I've got a load of stuff to do at the weekend, so, you know, a few boring household bits around bills and that sort of nonsense, going to do some stuff for the podcast, might have a couple of other bits to do, housework. I do it all and have a time in my head when it will be done by, and then I've got my resting time or my procrastination time, but I make sure that's at the end and I get everything done at the start.
Yeah.
Because I think if I did it the other way and you settle into a routine and you get lazy, your brain switches off. Sorry, I jumped in already. You're only at number 3.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, and I think that works quite well. I've never done that. I don't know whether I subconsciously do it or whether I consciously do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you consciously do it. I don't know. I think I might, but it's subconscious. It's not. I just won't. I'll leave it, and then I'll suddenly get it enough to start doing it.
No, for me, it's how I negotiate with my brain.
Yeah, I like that. Number 4, have some downtime. That's what I got on that one. Just have some downtime. So I just like sat there and just listened to some videos or watch videos, you know. But they are like inspirational content.
What type of videos did you? It's not quite downtime, Joe, is it?
But no, but that's what I love. But I don't have to do physically do. I was listening. So for me, it's like there might be some videos around, you know, just like Gary Vee or someone like that. Just because actually they do help me get my mojo back. So that's just sort of like the books and reading the books and stuff like that. Number 5, what you need to do I can't remember, right. It's what you need to do fun. If not, can you make it fun? So I suppose fun, can you make it fun, whatever you're doing? Whatever the thing is, can you make it fun, I suppose? So we have fun doing this, don't we? Like,
absolutely.
I don't know. And so this just, so it's, the ideas that just come out of my head, like as these 20. And so, but when that fun one come around, I'm not sure whether it was fun, but when I started doing it, I was having fun, like writing out the ideas. And when I started writing it, I enjoyed it. But because my brain was trying to stop me, I wasn't seeing that. Until you start doing it, I don't know what the feeling's like. Does that make?
That absolutely makes sense.
Tell me if you want to stop, because number 6. I'm on number 6.
Let's rattle through some quickly.
Okay. Number 6. Rewards after the task. Nuts and a bit of chocolate. So I reward myself with a little nuts and a few chocolates.
Right. I'm going to interrupt for a moment now.
You said to rattle through, right? Number 7.
So a few weeks ago, Mr. Boniface on the podcast, our absent third man, talked about how he rewards himself. And he said about rewarding himself with a grape, if you remember. And we had a great laugh about this. And I said I was going to create a reward yourself with a grape t-shirt. That t-shirt is now available on the store. So if you go to inspirationnation.org.uk, you can get yourself your reward yourself with a grape t-shirt. Soon to be joined by Joe's reward himself with a nuts t-shirt.
A nuts? No, I said nuts and a bit of chocolate. Oh, I just want to say, shout out to Luther's joined us on Instagram. Just want to shout out.
Right.
Have you got any joiners?
No, I'm on your same video, Joe. So we have the same joiners.
Lovely.
Technology is a struggle. Right, coming in at number 7.
Number 7. Oh, we like that. Top of the pops. Number 7. Number 7. Read for inspiration.
Like
I said read something. So I'd read.
Pickers for number 8.
Number 8. Go for a walk and come back.
Very good one. I like that.
Just go for a walk.
Number 9.
Just do it for 10 minutes. Don't have to be a long time. Just do it for a short period. Just do a short burst. But my short burst into about an hour. So
but that's good. Once you're in momentum, you go.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Number 10. Just do it for 5 minutes.
Well, so 10 doesn't work, you do it for 5.
So you're really good. So it's probably a little bit of a negotiation with your brain, isn't it? Like, no, I'm not doing 10 minutes.
I feel you just put down the same idea twice, Joe.
Yeah, I had to get 20 out, don't forget.
Come on then, next.
Number 11, don't do it at all. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If it's that bad, don't do it. And then get the punishment afterwards, and then I'll make you do it the next time. That's what came out. That's probably what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at this and that now. I'm thinking, if you don't do it, you're going to feel bad anyway afterwards, and then you're going to want to do it even more. So it'll make you get back on it. Number 12, is this task important enough? Is it important enough to you?
That's a good question to ask yourself, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it important? If you want to do this, like if we take the podcast, for instance, is it important enough? Important for us to do? Is
number
it
13, Joe? Number 13.
All right.
Come on.
Can someone else do it for you? Did you hear that?
Yes.
Can someone else do it for you? What do you think of that
Outsource.
Yeah. It might be something that's really like out of, you don't want to do it and someone else can do it for you. Because it might be something that someone else is better than you at it anyway.
I use that one in work sometimes when there are jobs that I can actually get other people involved in, and it suddenly helps you get a lot more done. Number 14.
Number 14, does it feed into your goal? So short, medium and long. Talked about it before. Cool.
Yeah, 15.
Okay. Is there a payoff you want after? So whatever the payoff is, what is the payoff you want after doing it?
Number 16. We're getting to the dregs of the ideas now, aren't we?
Think of how proud you'll be when you've done it.
I like that. That's good. Visualising the end.
Yep.
Number 17.
Talk to someone about it.
Also very good.
Maybe you need to talk to someone.
Get your brain going.
I don't want to do it. And you might can try and convince me that you go write the blog, because if you don't write the blog, it's not going to help the podcast and all that. So sort of talking about the things.
You're very good for that one with me, Joe. Sometimes I'll be talking about something and you'll kind of just shrug your shoulders and say, well, go and do it. And I'm like, yeah, I should just go and do it.
The coaching in action right there, isn't it?
Number 18.
18. Write out the excuses and crush them.
I like it.
So write out why you're not doing it, and just like, right, I'm just going to do it anyway.
So by the time you've got to number 18 on your list of 20, you're thinking about writing another list already. You're a glutton for punishment. Number 19.
Get someone to hold you to account. We've done that one anyway.
Absolutely right. And number 20.
meditate on it and see what comes up.
I like it.
That was my last one. So again,
so they are your 20 ideas to power through the procrastination.
So there's 20 there, and I just sat there and just what popped into my mind, just and that was my procrastination. I was in procrastination mode writing that, and so it shows you that you can power through. And I've really enjoyed doing this whole podcast on procrastination. So I don't think you can definitely get past the procrastination.
Yeah, and that's a big
You've
thing.
got 20 actionable things there. We're listed in his pop version mode. Pop at the top of the pops, if you remember that. I don't know if you're listening. No Country Top of the Pops was a great thing here in the UK.
Back in 1964.
You probably have something like an American MTV. What? You say 1960s? No, 1980s. I think it went through to 1990s, I'm sure it was in the 90s. But yeah, go 20 ideas. And Lee, you thought they were quite good. And now just 20 ideas that come off my head.
And there's some good stuff there around. I like to want to pick out, and I thought I'd say at the end is there's a couple about visualizing the reward or visualizing the goal or seeing if it helps you, or like the last one about seeing the end, because I do that sometimes, especially if it's building stuff for this. In my head, I will imagine the conversation we have once we've done it, and that gives me the real momentum to do it, because then if I don't, I'm going to lose out on doing that. And because I'm quite kinesthetic, that whole visualization thing of where things are going to be really helps me have the energy to do it.
So there you go.
Tips. So we're good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And so that was the thing. I like that experiment I tried worked.
Yes.
It really worked. So dude, it doesn't matter. And the old deal about the ideas is that they don't have to be great. It's just because you're getting out the good and bad. It's almost like the photographs thing about, because you're generating ideas, and when you're generating ideas, don't matter whether they're good or bad, you don't judge them, but you're getting your brain to come up with ideas. So it's going to come up with, there's going to be occasional 2 or 3 good ones in there. And those 2 or 3 goes all you need.
You're almost practicing being creative, aren't you?
Yeah. And that's what it does.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a brilliant thing. And these are people, hang on, let me go and get the book, because then I can show people the book. Hold on.
Okay. I will entertain the podcasters and the Instagrammers and the YouTubers until you come back, Joe. And I'll take a moment to talk about JN Coaching Technologies. So if you stick JN Coaching Tech into your Google machine, it will take you to Joe's website. Loads of fantastic resources on there, loads of reading materials. That is where you get Joe's blog that we've referenced a few times this week. You can sign up to that. And coaching is what Joe does. He loves to help people. If you want to engage Joe's services, you can do so at the website as well. There's a form there to contact him. That is JN Coaching Tech. Welcome back, Joe.
All right. That's the book. Tools of Titans.
Tools of Titans. And who's that by again?
Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss. Excellent.
Really good. Massive book. It's taken me a bit of time to read. I've not read it this week. But yeah, I'll just see if I can remember what page it was. What page was it? Maybe I can't find it. No, I can't find it. Anyway, if you get the book, you'll find it in there. Really good. But yeah.
I love it. You went all the way to get the book to show people where it is, to say, you'll find it in the book.
Well, no, I got the book, didn't I? To say, what was his name again? James Altucher, wasn't it? Okay, right, I'll find him. Lee, can you entertain?
Do you want to tell a little story or something?
Yeah, tell a story.
All I can do is cough.
What's happened to you during the week?
I've got an idea, Joe, while we're doing this. So a few weeks ago, I did an experiment and I did some meditation, which I found hugely beneficial, and advocate to anybody to do it. You this week did an experiment before the podcast with your list, which I think was really good. It was good to see how that worked for you. So next week, Ryan, who is not here, but in editing mode, will be listening to this right now. We will be coming up with an experiment for Ryan to do on next week's podcast, so that we've all done one ourselves.
I think it's a good idea, isn't it? I think it's good.
Absolutely.
Just kind of experiments. I think this could be a theme.
Yes.
Again, do experiments.
I like doing stuff like that.
You had that shower yet?
No, I was going to do it the weekend, but unfortunately, again, hold on. I was very ill, so I thought taking a cold shower wouldn't be a good idea.
You only got till November the 5th, remember? And Ryan's listening.
Okay. It's fine.
That was a deadline.
Today is the 30th. This will be going out on the 31st, Halloween. So that leaves me, 6 days to get it in? This Saturday I will do it before we do our next recordings. I really want to see Ryan do dad dancing. Yes. Well, or his version of dancing. I want to see him bust some, maybe do some Fortnite dancing. Do the old, what they call it, flossing. I like it. We'll bring the flossing back. So I know it's a bit out of date now, isn't it? But I think we should get him to do a bit. If it's not raining, I've got a hose in the back garden. We've got it all sorted.
Already? Oh, it's fantastic.
Everyone listening, look forward to seeing this on Twitter soon.
Brilliant. Oh, by the way, I've got the page number. It is page 246. James Altucher. I don't know if it will speed. I hope this won't get a strike off on YouTube. But James Altucher, there you go. Tim Ferriss, give me a big promotion, my man.
So,
he's massive. He doesn't need any promotion. He's massive anyway.
What else have you got in your mind map of procrastination there, Joe? I
think I'm about done. I mean, what's the time? We've got the right time in it. It's about the right time, isn't it?
It is about the right time.
Yeah, that was it really. It was just really. I've obviously the blog's got some other bits in there. 3 sort of really big ones on there. But watch out for the blog on the Sunday because of there's sort of a few headlines in there which I think could be quite useful. Some quite good quotes in there that might help you as well. Some nice sort of things you like to read is probably going to be good for you as well, along with the podcast. But I say, one of the things is now what I'm going to do is this is going to be additional content to the podcast. It's not going to be the same as the podcast. It's going to be additional content for
extra content for people. So everyone listening, make sure you get yourself over to Jay and Coaching Tech.
Yeah.
The blog is there, InspirationNation.org.uk. You scroll right to the bottom of the page. There's a link to the blog there as well. And you will get your companion piece to each week's episode. That sounds really exciting, Joe. Really looking forward to seeing what's in there.
Yeah, and don't forget to get to the newsletter as well. Go to my website, sign up to newsletter. We want you to be part of Inspiration Nation. If you're done, you get on the list and you get an email from me every week. And also, I'll get together with Lee and, if you do go on the list, we might be able to give you some more extra bonuses or something like that as we develop this Inspiration Nation community. What I want to do with people on the email, I want to give them a few bit of extras that aren't necessarily.
That sounds really good.
So maybe we could do something like that. Maybe giving an extra special code for, like, I don't know, get more off the store or something. But we'll have to think about that. I don't know. It's something we can talk about offline, can't we?
That sounds really good, but like you said, if everyone listening, we just want to build this into as much of a community as we can and add as much value for people as we can. We hope everyone has found this week's episode to be useful. Hopefully you are going to power through that procrastination with some of these great tips. We are, again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Listen TOIN. I completely stumbled on that. Joe is at JN Coaching Tech across all platforms as well. We have been Inspiration Nation. We'll be back next week. Do you want me to count us down, Joe?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Inspiration Nation.
Catch you guys
later.
If you love this video, it means a lot to me if you just hit subscribe, and don't forget to tap the bell because that'll let you know when I release another video. And also this video here, I really think you'll enjoy it because it's about how to beat depression. This is Inspiration Nation, and I'll catch you guys later.